Let's not fuck around. Let's get right into it. Always has to be a little rebellious music comes on. Oh, hey, I forgot to switch the micro off. Hello and welcome to this Thursday's Movie News. I am Jonathan C. Walsh here to speak about movie news. Did you see me checking my watch there to see if it was indeed Thursday? That's the kind of day I'm having. Straight out the shower, a very fresh John, cut my hair, straight out the shower, into the show. The best way to start. And look, I'm here to speak about my all-time favourite band, the greatest fucking band that's ever existed on planet Earth, and that is the Beatles. And I'm also here to speak about one of my favourite directors of the last 30, 20 years, Peter Jackson. Can you tell I'm a fan of Peter? And his infinite sort of desire to see Les Beatles in the final act of filmmaking be presented on the biggest screen possible in the best light possible, because let's be honest, the original Let It Be Get Back movie was fucking drab. It was quite poor, a little bit depressive, and didn't paint the final days of the Beatles in the best light possible. This was the mission of Peter Jackson when he took upon himself the chance to rejig the Get Back documentary. He wanted to give a more uplifting, better look at things. And look, he's been consulting with Ringo fucking Starr along the process. And Ringo has had it reaffirmed in his mind as well that there was some happy moments, there was laughs, there was jokes, there was a fraternity, a brotherhood if you'd like. And look, that aside, his mission to get it seen on the biggest screen has sadly failed, because it's come out today that this would-be movie is now being rejigged into a 3-part series, which is going to hit Disney Plus, the streaming service, direct. It's not coming out in the theatres, and it's not going to be releasing at the end of summer. I think it was originally supposed to come out in August in the theatres. Not to be now. It's now been pushed back to November, Thanksgiving. So that's about the mid to late part of November. And it's going to come out in 3 consecutive days. I think it's the 25th, the 26th and the 27th of November. It's going to be a 6-hour documentary instead of a 2-3 hour movie. And to be honest with you, as a fan of the Beatles, a guy who has watched the entire anthology numerous times, watched a series of other documentaries, fucking movies based on the life of John Lennon, Paul McCartney, with Christopher Eccleston playing John Lennon. As a guy that's seen all of them, I'm a little bit conflicted with this news. I seen it, I wasn't even going to talk about that today, I was looking at other topics, and I seen it pop up, Get Back, going straight to Disney Plus, and it was like a stab in the heart, because me and Stephen were planning on going and seeing this movie in the theatres, and I was so looking forward to seeing the rooftop concert, and it's full, I don't know what you'd call it, it's full glorious form. 42 minutes I think of footage in a big screen, booming sound system. So with that now having been taken away from my grasp, the monitor's just switched off, what is going on there? And it's now going straight to the streaming service in a slightly different form, a little bit more elongated, 6 hours long. I'm conflicted, I'm disappointed I'm not going to get that theatre experience, but I'm also excited about what Peter Jackson's going to be bringing in a 6-hour documentary, man, because it's dedicated to Get Back, it's dedicated to the Let It Be sessions. And look, man, it was a funky time for the Beatles in terms of just jamming, hilarity, fucking around, probably doing heroin in John Lennon's case, punches flying over digestive biscuits. A very tumultuous time, but a good time as well, man. I love the album. I love what Phil Spector did with the original, and look what Macca did with the Let It Be Naked release, 20-30 years later, was pretty special as well. It's glorious music, man. The concert's dynamite. It was a moment of sheer genius to do it on a rooftop in the middle of London's financial sector. So to see that, albeit not in the theatres, but just seeing it rejigged with the They Shall Not Grow Old technology, tarting it up and making it a truly spectacular watch, I'll be happy watching it on a 4K monitor or watching it on my TV on Disney Plus, man. It's happy days for me either way as a fan of the Beatles. But look, this is what they've had to say. It's an article coming in from NME. There's a couple of articles touching upon this very subject, but I've chosen NME for whatever reason. It's a music dedicated website, and it just feels fitting that they're speaking about it because it's music. At the end of the day, it's film capturing the art of music. And look, when the Beatles jam, when they create a new album, it is fucking artistry. Their jams, man, are better than some of the shit that's out in the fucking charts just now. Believe me, go and listen to the hits, the anthology of the Beatles, man. Listen to the little jams they do. 2-minute fuck arounds, and they are incredible in their musicianship. So I'm happy either way, man, but this is what they've had to say. Disney Plus have announced plans to stream Peter Jackson's new The Beatles Get Back documentary. The Beatles film will focus on the making. We know this, I don't need to read this. It was cut from 55 hours of unseen footage, filmed by Michael Lindsay Hogg in 1969, and 140 hours of mostly unheard audio from the recording sessions. Not mostly unheard for me, I have listened to, I think, the vast majority on YouTube, and fucking fascinating listening, I have to say. You've got Macca doing Lennon songs in the background, and the director and all of these people hanging around, the likes of Neil Aspinall, just chatting shit. It's a fascinating listen, and I cannot wait to see how he's implemented this into this documentary. He goes on to say, as a result of the lengthy footage, I should say, Disney has confirmed the documentary will be presented as 3 separate episodes on its streaming service on November 25th, 26th and 27th. Each episode is approximately 2 hours in length. Now this is music to my ears, man. It was exciting to think of getting a 2-3 hour movie in the theatres, but to now think of getting 2 separate 2 hour chunks of Beatles goodness. Oh, that's good. It sounds good, man. And look, I've been wanting this from Disney as well, Disney Plus, for the Marvel projects, for perhaps the Star Wars projects, fly in the wall documentaries, and how they have captured the magic of Marvel, of Star Wars, and condensed it into a TV show on the streaming service. I've wanted to see it. I think we're getting it. I love documentaries, and when you combine it with the Beatles and this unseen footage, unseen audio, unheard audio, it's just going to be fucking amazing to take this in. I cannot wait for it, man. I'm counting down the days and the months, the weeks. Yada yada. This is what Peter Jackson's had to say. He says, in many respects, Michael Lindsay Hogg's remarkable footage captured multiple storylines. He certainly did, and he presented the drab, depressive, tumultuous, argumentative storyline to the world. But he also presented that fucking rooftop concert, and look, that's good enough for me from Michael Lindsay Hogg. But he's absolutely right in what he says. He did present multiple storylines, he just chose the wrong one. And I don't know if it was a creative decision by Paul McCartney at this point, because he was kind of pushing for it. It was his brainchild, this idea of sweeping shots. He was ahead of his time, as he always was, Macca. I don't know if he pushed this argumentative end. I don't know if it maybe a final fuck you to the rest of the band because of fighting over Alan Klein and stuff like this and trying to sue each other. Maybe it was Macca's decision, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't even Michael Lindsay Hogg's, but he certainly did have multiple storylines, and he chose a peculiar one. He continues to say, this, Peter, the story of friends and of individuals, it is the story of human frailties and of a divine partnership. Oh yes, it is a detailed account of the creative process with the crafting of iconic songs under pressure, set amid the social climate of early 1969. But it's not nostalgia, it's raw, honest and human. Over 6 hours, you'll get to know the Beatles with an intimacy that you never thought possible. I'm very grateful to the Beatles, Apple Corps, Disney, for allowing me to present the story in exactly the way it should be told. I've been immersed in this project for nearly 3 years. That excites me, man. Oh, that excites me. When Peter Jackson immerses himself in something for that long, you just know it's going to be good. There is no way in God's green earth this is going to be poor. And there's Peter Capaldi down there. What was it he called himself? I can't recall. It was a play on Chewbacca. I love Peter. Peter's amazing. But yeah, man, it's going to be very, very good. Peter Jackson, that is. I love him, and I love Peter Capaldi too. It's going to be very, very, very good if he's dedicated 3 years of his life to this. What he went on to say, he's finished by saying, I'm very excited about the audiences around the world that will finally be able to see it. And I think Ringo did. He said a couple of things at the bottom. He basically says this, Ringo, I'm going to say this because I respect Ringo Starr. And when this man speaks, you listen. I had several talks with Peter about how I felt. I thought it was miserable. I said that was there was lots of laughter. I was there. We were laughing. We were having fun. We were playing and doing what we do, which is great magic. So Peter kept coming into LA with his iPad. He'd show me sections. He'd say, look what I found here. And it showed us laughing and having fun. As a band, there was a lot of joy in making these records, those tracks. So I'm certainly looking forward to seeing the whole thing. Even if you saw that little trailer that came out last year, full of fun. It certainly was, Ringo. I really enjoyed the trailer. I loved the back set. It being sort of set to the backdrop of Get Back playing out, one of my favourite Beatles songs, period. Just Lennon's lead guitar, a rare thing from Johnny Boy. Macca's amazing bass. Just a song, great song. That backdrop of them all cuddling, having fun, jamming, having laughs, been a real brotherhood, because that's what they were, man. No one else could experience what those four guys experienced throughout those 7 years, I think, of albums and a good decade of just being together as a working band. No one ever experienced what those guys experienced, so they forever had that bond, and I'm sure that was still palpable during these sets, during the filming and on the sets of, because it was a set, I think it was in a big open studio, and then they went back to obviously Savile Row. It would have been palpable during that recording session, and look, for whatever reason, Michael Lindsay Hogg or Paul McCartney have chosen a drab, depressive, miserable take on that recording session. But look, man, I'm absolutely certain this movie's going to be absolutely dynamite. This TV show, I should say, documentary, is going to be dynamite. It's got the approval of Ringo. I'm sure it's got the approval of Paul. And when it's Peter Jackson doing something, you just need to go back and watch These Shall Not Grow Old if you want an example of what him and his myriad of amazing people can do with old footage. And I'm talking footage from 100 years ago, man. Over 100 years ago. What they did with that, colorising it, adding little shots in to make it less jerky, fluid motion, humanising these people, taking you back to a remarkable time in human history. You see what he can do with that footage. What can he do with footage that's 50 years old, man? It is going to be sensational. I cannot wait to see the rooftop concert in all its glory in this documentary, man. But I'm moving on. Conflicted, happy I'm getting to see 6 hours of Beatles footage. Disappointed that I'm not getting to see it in a theatre. But having said that, man, hopefully we get the best of both worlds. Hopefully they come to their senses and release a shortened version, a best of, if you'd like, a greatest hits of Peter Jackson's Get Back movie in the theatres, and we get to see the longer version on Disney Plus. That would be the best for me, the best of both worlds. Time will tell if they want to do it. But look, I'm moving on to the next topic. I've got 6 topics tonight. I want to speak about them all, so I'm going to speed it the fuck up. I'm speaking about Black Widow. I've been speaking about it a lot recently. I went to the theatres last Sunday, to see The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. And once again, I seen the trailer for this movie in a theatre setting, and it was just absolutely epic seeing Scarlett Johansson and Natasha Romanoff flying through the air. Just incredible backdrop, and just incredible cast, to be honest with you. David Harbour, Florence Pugh, Scarlett Johansson, Rachel Weisz. I'm sure there's a couple of other ones in there. Just an incredible cast, an incredible experience seeing that in a theatre. Really looking forward to seeing the full movie in the theatres. And we have got the initial reactions in, and they are praising the aforementioned Florence Pugh to high heavens. It doesn't surprise me. I've seen this remarkable actress, and up-and-coming actress at that, still young as hell. I've seen her in a number of movies now. I want to say a good half dozen movies. Never had a bad performance. Always acquits herself very well in the movies. Even when she's not the star of the piece, man, you're drawn to her. So she is charismatic, she's a great actor. It doesn't surprise me that they're absolutely praising her. But here is the initial reactions. We've got Stephen Frosty Weintraub from Collider, and he had this to say about Black Widow, the initial reaction. Kate Shortland has had the difficult job in trying to fill in Natasha Romanoff's backstory, but she nailed it in Black Widow. While the entire cast was great, both Florence Pugh and David Harbour, music to my ears that David's good in it. I cannot wait to see this Red Guardian character, a sort of fat over the hill Soviet version of Captain America. Cannot wait to see him. He's such a good actor as well. Just go and watch Stranger Things and you'll know what I mean. And even Hellboy, he was decent in Hellboy. It wasn't his fault that movie was bad. He hit home runs with their performances. No way audiences don't want more of both characters. Well, you've kind of spoiled it there, Stephen. You've kind of admitted that Red Guardian gets out of this movie alive. So, and we know that Florence Pugh's going to continue as Black Widow. She's saying that the audience reaction, the fans of the universe, will be the ultimate deciding factor in her coming back. Bullshit. If Feige likes your performance and he's got plans for your future and you want to be in it, you will be back, Florence. So look, he's kind of spoiled it, but I hope we do get to see more of David Harbour's Red Guardian. I hope I'm going to enjoy him in it. He's continued to say this. Also, the action is non-stop, fantastic in Black Widow, and it's so well done. And if you like it, you can thank second unit director Darren Prescott. You know his work from John Wick movies. Black Panther and Captain America Civil War. Don't watch on Disney Plus. I will be seeing this movie in the theatres, Stephen. I am not going to spend $30 to watch a movie in my house when I can spend £5 to go and see it in a theatre. It's just financial common sense, really. That's exciting me, man. Darren Prescott, second unit director. Guy's worked on a lot of sort of flash, slick action movies, and Civil War, one of my all-time favourite MCU movies. So that is a nice little Easter egg you've gave us there, Stephen. I didn't know he was working on this movie. Perrin Nemiroff, also of Collider fame, has said this. Dug Black Widow a good deal. Was kind of worried about watching the story unfolding, knowing what's to come in Endgame. Yeah, that's the one disappointing aspect of doing prequel movies when you already know how it all plays out. There's no real stakes, is there? It's hard to introduce stakes, but she's about to say that might diminish the stakes. But that wasn't the case. In fact, this is the kind of prequel story that feels bound to enhance other instalments of the MCU. Exciting, Perry. Thank you for that. I know you can't hear me and I'm speaking to my fucking self here, but thanks for that little snippet. You're wetting my anticipatory juices here. German Lucier, what a name. Germaine Lucier. I bet it's Lucier, because it'll be French. Marvel fans are going to really enjoy Black Widow. I know we are. We enjoy all Marvel content. Absolute sycophantic bitches. Lots of questions are answered with plenty of cool. I'm getting concerned that my mic's not working here, incidentally. I'm going to have a little gander over to the... bring it over here. Is it working? It is working. Thank fuck. I couldn't see it there, and it was concerning me. I've had that before. Done 10 minutes of a show, muted. He's continued to say the big problem is we know that Nat so well now that she gets hugely outshined by almost everyone else in her own movie, Florence Pugh especially. Still a solid addition to the MCU. That's always a concern, isn't it? When you've seen all there is to see with a character, and you get a prequel story and you start introducing these colourful figures around, these periphery figures in her life, there's always that chance that they will indeed outshine her, because we've seen this character doing crazy shit. What more can you see that you haven't already seen in a prequel movie? You've not seen Florence Pugh's Yelena, you've not seen Red Guardian, you've not seen Rachel Weisz. So, yeah, when you bring something new, new's always better, isn't it? I don't know. I prefer new stuff as opposed to the stuff you've had for years, decades in this case. Kate Erbland has said that this, I don't know who these people are, incidentally, but they won't know who I am, so that's absolutely fine. She said this, actually bruising, fighting and chase sequences, a go for broke Florence Pugh performance. Does she turn into any other kind? Nope, she doesn't. And the first half that's intimate and talky and kind of funny in a new way for the MCU. Yes, I enjoyed this. Well, Scarlett Johansson did allude to that it is going to be a different movie, that Natasha is going to be in a different place, a dark, lonely place. She's always been part of a team, or been a cog in a machine, a greater machine, if you'd like. And that this is the first time she's been really free, and she's feeling a little bit all over the place, so she's getting back to her old gang, and it will be talkative. She has to initiate herself with the Red Guardian, with Yelena, with the Rachel Weisz character, whose name I completely forget, so I can imagine the first half's very talkative, and you need that. You can't have out and out balls to the wall action for 2 hours plus. You need some intimacy to connect to the characters before you get into all that crazy shit. But the final one I'm going to read, well, I might read the next one as well, but we'll read this one for sure. Dan Casey has said this of Black Widow. Black Widow is far from my favourite MCU entry, doesn't surprise me, but there's still plenty to like for die-hard fans. Florence Pugh steals the show as Yelena Belova. Putting Natasha Romanoff in the spotlight was long overdue, so I'm glad it finally happened. Well, that was short and sweet, and I agree. 10 years in the making, and a great actress, one of the best in the game today, so she certainly did deserve her standalone movie. And she's got it, and I'm happy that people are enjoying it to some extent. BDG Union member Eric Francisco, why the fuck are you putting that in there? Who cares? Just put Eric Francisco in there. Francisco has said this: Marvel fans rejoice. Hallelujah! Black Widow is outstanding and arguably S tier. What the fuck does that mean? Special tier in the MCU. Like Civil War, an aggressively bleak tone and dark stories balanced by legit, laughing out loud family comedy. Action is brutal. This is the first MCU film I've seen where stunts look like it hurts. Well, that's music to my ears, man. I like the thunder crashing stunts. And I'm glad he thinks it's S tier. And that means he's putting it up there with Civil War, which I find hard to believe, to be honest with you. But look, time will tell when I go to see it. This is definitely... I'll read this one. No, I'm not reading Brittany because she's done a double one, and I don't want to expend any more energy reading all of these things. But look, we'll do, just because I love the name, Nora Dominic. Black Widow might be one of my favourite solo origin movies in the MCU. There's something about seeing Natasha finally getting her story that made me emotional in all the best ways. Also, Florence Pugh was born for the MCU. Her dynamic with Scarlett is a triumph. Well, she was born for the MCU. She is a tremendous actor, and look, she's not scared to do a number of different genres. We've seen her do an Ari Aster horror. We've seen her do a Sigma Films horror paranormal thriller kind of thing. I think it was Maleficent. And we've seen her do Fight With My Family. So we know for a fact that this actress is adventurous. She will do anything, and she can do anything. So it doesn't surprise me she slid right in like a familiar feet into a familiar slipper in the MCU, because she's just tailor-made, man. She can do it all. She's feisty, young, small in stature, and just going to absolutely fucking buzz into this MCU. I'm absolutely certain they will have a future for her. I'm absolutely certain she will be the next Black Widow. Very much looking forward to this movie now, man. I'm now kind of looking back a couple of months ago to my comments where I says this movie should have been straight to streaming service. Just get it out, forget about it, move on to the future. I'm looking back and I'm absolutely thinking, what a tadger you were, John. Because look, we have went a year without any MCU movies. Now we're getting this. We're getting Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man. It's going to be a fucking glorious 6 months coming up for comic book fans and Marvel fans in particular. Look, I'm going to move on to the next topic though, man. This is one I simply had to speak about. I've seen this, a number of articles coming out about this, and to be honest with you, I was baffled by what the fuck. I didn't know what colorism was until I seen all of these headlines. I was confused as to what they were going on about. It's Lin-Manuel Miranda's In the Heights movie. I think it's a musical. It's set in Latin America, I believe Puerto Rico, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, there seems to be a big controversy coming out regarding this movie and the lack of black faces in it. And I'll get into it in a moment. Rita Moreno is defending him. Elevator Not Worthy has says, I am so happy Black Widow is getting good reviews. So am I, man. So am I, because I was concerned about it. I'm not going to lie, 10 years. Concerned that we'd seen all there was to see with this character, and that it was all going to be sort of a letdown, a little bit lacklustre, but I'm glad to see that it's not the case. It's getting good reviews. Florence Pugh's son as well, so, and David Harbour. Really looking forward to Taskmaster. I think it's such a cool looking villain, and there's such an array of colourful individuals in this, and there's going to be a big betrayal. We know there is, potentially with the Rachel Weisz character. That's certainly the rumours. I went to see a movie the other day, and there was a Black Widow trailer before the movie, and I actually started crying. I was just really happy that it's finally happening. Look, man, that's similar to my experience, and that's why I says when I was saying 4 months ago, this movie should just have been put in a streaming service to get on with it, that I'm actually talking shite. Because when you get in the theatres, man, and you hear the booming soundtrack, you're in that darkened space, and you're just whisked off, man, to another world. It was fucking special, man, and it's the same with No Time to Die. I cannot wait to see these movies in the theatres, man. It's been a long time coming. Cannot wait. But look, this pish here, this shite, it seems to be social media. What a fucking surprise. Going on, just really attacking, and look, I'll be speaking about more attacking of directors, James Mangold, next. So it all kind of interconnects. But they begin after this guy, and by all accounts, this guy is a real trailblazer, a guy who's fought for representation of minority Latin American actors, getting them on the screen, giving them a chance, and a mostly white industry, let's be honest here. So for this guy of all people to be getting attacked by these absolute cretins on social media, seems to have lit a fuse with a couple of people who are close to him. I think it was on Stephen Colbert. She was promoting her documentary and she had this to say: you can never do right, it seems. No, you can't. This is the man who literally has brought Latino-ness and Puerto Rico-ness to America. I couldn't do it. I would love to say I did, but I couldn't. Lin-Manuel, this is the guy that done Hamilton, wasn't it? Has done that really single-handedly, and I'm thrilled to pieces, and I'm proud that he produced my documentary. There's a lot of people who are Puerto Ricanos, I think that is, who are also from Guatemala, who are dark and who are also fair. We are all colours in Puerto Rico, and this is how it is, and it would be nice if they hadn't come up with that and just left it alone, just for now. I mean, they're really attacking the wrong person. Look, this is, as I said, it absolutely bemused me, man, that they're getting after us. No one is more for representation and seeing an array of different colours and people and faces on the screen. That's the reality of the world. Multiculturalism has taken place across the globe, but more so here in Britain, at least in the last 10 years, in Scotland 20 years. There's an array of different people in Scotland now, and it's great to see, man. They're bringing in their blends of food, cuisines, culture, and I fucking love it. I'm all for it. I want to see multiculturalism, I can't even say it, and representation, but I don't want to see it forced. And the reality is, if this movie is set in Guatemala and Puerto Rico, then it's presumably a lot of people look like Oscar Isaac and Pedro Pascal and people like that. It is sort of Latin, kind of light brownish people. And look, if there's not a lot of black people in that country, I don't know the actual ethnic setup of Guatemala and Puerto Rico, but if there's not a lot of black people and he's trying to create an accurate representation of that country for this movie In the Heights, then the reality is you just don't put any fucking black actors in. That's just your reality, I'm afraid. You do not force representation because it comes across fake, inauthentic. People will call it out like they did with the Star Wars movies, and ultimately it will come back and the backlash will hit Lin-Manuel Miranda. If I can't even see his fucking name, I can't speak tonight. So I'm glad this guy's did this. I'm glad people are coming out and backing him up, because enough's enough really with this social media shite. You need to let these artists, these directors, these filmmakers create their magic, create their worlds, create their movies, and if it's their vision to have this array of cast in the movie, then that's their fucking vision. It's their story, it's their movie, it's their right to do it. If he could get Afro-Latinos in, then I'm sure he would have did it. If it was something that was fitting for the movie, I'm sure he'd have put them in and it would have been organic. But do not force representation, and I'm fucking sick of these little panty wetters on social media going after people because it's not how they want it to be. Well, the world doesn't revolve around you. It revolves around 7, 6, 7, 8 billion other people. So shut the fuck up, watch it, don't watch it, and get out, man. Stop going after these people. But speaking about social media cretins and arsewipes going after directors, absolutely crazy, man. I've seen this over the last week or so, really. The Indiana Jones 5 is getting some amount of stick. I think it's Doomcock, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, all the usual faces getting after Kathleen Kennedy primarily. And look, I'm not a huge fan of Kathleen Kennedy's tenureship as Lucasfilm president or handling all the Star Wars movies in general. It's not a personal attack on her though, it's just an absolute fact. She's made an arse of it. She's not brought in the right directors. She's fell out with 90% of them, sacked a couple, and the movies have ultimately not been as good as they would have been if she just did her homework, her due diligence, and brought in the right people. That's a fact. But I personally don't hate Kathleen Kennedy. I have no issues with her. I think she's a very talented producer. She's working as a producer in this movie. Now, she's worked as a producer on just about every other fucking Indiana Jones movie. So if you like the other Indiana Jones movies, well, you like a Kathleen Kennedy produced movie. So why are you getting after Indiana Jones 5 because Kathleen Kennedy produces it? I can't answer, man. It's absolutely mental to me. But they're attacking James Mangold as well. Now, this movie's only a week and a half, 2 weeks, maybe 3 to push into production. We're nowhere near having enough footage collected to even make an accurate judgment on what the fuck's going on. Even if you were on the set looking at dailies, watching this movie getting constructed, you wouldn't have enough to actually attack it and say, this is poor, I don't like this. But for people outside of the production who have not got access to dailies, not got access to the way the movie's been shot, the performances, to be attacking it and saying it's going to be a disaster, it's just absolutely fucking insane to me. But this is what Mangold says. The guy has got balls of steel. He just goes straight to the criticisers, the arsewipes, and he calls them out. And this is an example of it. William Schill the Fourth. It's actually a good name, to be fair. But he's got a little troll face, so that tells you everything you need to know about William. He says this: yes, I'm aware that wasn't my point. Being wary, we're going in mid-conversation here. I'm aware of that. There's something happened before this. But regardless, yes, I'm aware that wasn't my point. Being wary of beloved franchises being revisited many years later, no matter who's doing it, being the gist. The gist. Can't even say that word. This is what Mangold had to say. He says, I understand wariness. I live it. I don't know if I'll make you happy, but my team and I will knock ourselves out trying to make something good. We admire the craft of the originals. I hope when you see real images, they'll look better to you than the paparazzi shots from the bushes. And I love that, because there's been some pretty good paparazzi shots from the bushes. The train sort of sequence was unbelievable. But here we've got another arsewipe, Matthew Carish, saying, anyone thinking Indiana Jones 5 might be good, just let me point out, everything ad-lib straight from fucking Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. Steven Spielberg is not directing. Who gives a fuck? He's busy. He's doing West Side Story. He's doing umpteen other things. He's doing a DC pilot movie. This guy's busy, man. And he did the last movie and everyone fucking hated it. So why is that even a point? Kathleen Kennedy's producing. She produced every other one. So load of shite. Harrison Ford is 78 years old. He's doing 40-mile cycles. He's fitter than me and I'm 32. Who fucking cares? The guy's super fit. Still one of the great actors as well. And it's Indiana Jones, man. It has to be Harrison Ford. And it's written by Jonathan Kasdan, who wrote Solo. As if that's a bad thing. I thought Solo was actually a decent movie. Because of all the issues, the tumultuousness of the production, the two directors leaving, obviously Ron Howard coming in. That aside, I thought it was actually a good movie, man. It wasn't the worst. It was certainly better than the last two sequel trilogy movies. And I thought it was absolutely fine. It was passable. Is Kasdan a great writer? I don't know. It doesn't even matter though, because as you can see here, James Mangold has confirmed that he doesn't even fucking write the script. Thanks, Matt. Keep making the world a better place, crapping on things in the first week of production from your basement. Oh, what a comment. This is why I love James Mangold. Not only is he a great director, but he just slaps these bitches about, man. It is fucking music to my ears reading this stuff. Keep making the world a blah blah blah. Never seen a script by John. Nothing against him, just reality. Butterworths and I started from a blank page. 1 through 3 are hugely talented, all at my side. So Spielberg's a producer. He's actively liaising with James Mangold and how to direct this movie, how to get performances. Kathleen Kennedy's produced every other Indiana Jones movie, and Harrison Ford is one of the great directors of his generation, or actors of his generation, and he's super fit. Super fit. The guy's flying planes. He crash landed a plane in a golf course and came away with a slash in his arm. The guy's a fucking absolute god amongst men. So what am I saying here? I'm losing my voice. All of these little bitches on social media, be it the Lin-Manuel Miranda stuff, criticising his In the Heights movie because there's not a black person in it, because he has created the story in a way whereby it's representative of Puerto Rico, Guatemala, and there's no black people in the fucking story, plain and simple. It's his choice. Be it those arsewipes attacking that guy who's been a champion of minority actors getting time to act in cinemas and around the world, getting time to act in Hollywood. Be it these absolute bangers who are going after James Mangold and Indiana Jones 5 in the first 2 weeks of production, saying it's going to be a disaster. The point is, don't be a tit. Don't go on social media attacking people, because when they actually get back to you and make you look like a fool, you just end up wanting to return to your basement and get tore into your Cheetos and wipe them all over your little Cheeto riddled scants. Don't be an arsehole, that's what I'm saying. Rufus says this: I really think these internet trolls just like to make noise to get attention. It's alright when you're on social media and you're making noise, but seeing you've got a YouTube channel with 200,000 people and you're making noise, and you've got another YouTube channel with 100,000 people and he's wearing a mask and he's using a voice changer and he's a shite bag, it's a different ballgame, because you're actually influencing 400,000 people to be cretins, to be tits like you. So one individual troll on social media, you get swatted away like you see with James Mangold. But when you've got that influence, you should really be a better human being, man, and stop attacking things before you've even seen it. It's pathetic. But what's going on here, man? Why can I not get this to work? Because, John, you're on the... What one am I on here? I can't get this to work, man. What the fuck is going on here? Let's go... What? My dog's killing himself? Let's go into OBS and see what's happening here, shall we? Thank you, Harley. So it's topic 4. Get that away. It's topic 3. Get that away. And it's topic 2. Where we go? No! Whoa, I've got 6. This is a disaster, man. Right, what topic are we on here? We're on to 4. Topic 5. 4, 5. Topic 5. I can't believe I'm through 5 topics already. Yeah, it's about John Wick 4, and it's added another. It's added another sort of martial artist actor. This time it is Hiroyuki Sanada, and he is from the most latest Mortal Kombat movie. Now, look, I can't speak about this guy in any real terms. I'll be brief. I'll give my thoughts on the movie in general, because there's a nice little quote comes with it. Accompanies it. I can't even fucking speak. It's so warm in this room, incidentally. I don't know if you can see the sweat in my face. This is as close as you'll get to feel vision, I think, when you actually see the sweat pouring off me. Yeah, and I should turn that light as well. It looks so dark. 2 seconds, I'll turn this light, right, and we'll actually get some light on me, because it looks so dark. There we go. That's better. Yeah, Hiroyuki Sanada. This guy is from Mortal Kombat. Now, I've not seen the movie in its entirety. I have seen the first 8 to 9 minutes of it, though, unfiltered. And he plays a large part in that first 8 to 9 minutes. His whole family gets massacred. And Sub-Zero comes after him. And we see him in action. He's amazing. He dances around the screen. It's like magic unfolding upon you. I can't even speak, honestly. Magic unfolding in front of your eyes. I can't think of the word. But look, man, I'm excited for this. This on top of your other man, who I'm blanking on, Donnie Yen. And then you add in Bill Skarsgård. They really are starting to assemble an impressive cast here. And look, man, I'm excited by the choices. You've got Donnie Yen. I don't know if he's Chinese. I think he may be. And you add in this actor, Hiroyuki Sanada. I think I don't know if he's Chinese as well. I need to look him up. I should really look this guy up. But it maybe suggests that they are going off to an Oriental vibe. And I don't know if that's wrong to say that. I know that's quite controversial saying Oriental, so I'll take that back immediately. Maybe they're going to an Asian setting, China or something like that, and it's going to go into real hardcore martial arts stuff. Because look, these movies have been good to date, and we have seen some slick things from Keanu Reeves. We've seen some slick things from Western kind of actors, but to go to maybe China or just a general Asian sort of setting, and bring in guys like Hiroyuki Sanada, Donnie Yen, really up the martial artist stuff going on. It's going to be fucking incredible, man. Because look, some of the best movies I've seen, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Train to Busan as well is probably an example, but lesser so. These guys are the best in the world at doing these sort of slick action fighting sequences. They're the absolute daddies, man. Ip Man, Donnie Yen is an example of the Ip Man trilogy. There's a fourth one. So when you bring these guys in, you're building up anticipation that there's going to be some amazing action taking place, some amazing fighting. And that's something you get with Wick anyway. But man, add it in to these guys, man, it's going to be incredible. But look, what is this? Is this the Hellsgate says this? I think it is, he said of the casting, having the long admired Hiroyuki, I hope I'm saying that right, I probably aren't, as both an actor and action performer, I am thrilled and honoured to welcome him to the John Wick family. They're going to see films expected to start in summer, yes. Hiroyuki is Japanese, Donnie Yen is Chinese. I thought that, man. I thought Hiroyuki sounded a little bit Japanese, to be honest. But I recall, I think it was in Mortal Kombat, the actual first 8 minutes, he was speaking a different dialect language to Sub-Zero was speaking in a different dialect to actual Scorpion. So I thought, is he Chinese? Maybe Sub-Zero's Japanese, but no, he's Japanese. Look, man, I may be backing up the wrong tree. It may just be in a generic US setting, and it's just a couple of Asian martial artist actors coming in to boost the sort of action in the screen. I don't know, man, but I'd love to see them. We've been to Casablanca, we've been to New York, we've been all over the shop, really. I'd love to see them going to an Asian country, man, and really ramping it up, Wick getting his arse handed to him by little diminutive sort of Chinese actors, assassins in the movie. What is this? This is Lawrence Fishburne. He has said this of the script. I found this intriguing. I read the script. It's really, really cool. As much as it's the same world as the other 3 films, it's just deeper. And that's the key point here, deeper. It's much deeper in terms of the code of the assassin and the relationship that he has with one character in particular, which is John Wick, I would presume, maybe. Is really the heart and the soul of it. Look, that incites me, man, because... excites me. I'm not inciting anything. It excites me because, look, the first movie was very light. It was great action. It was just popcorn, flick, fair. And it was brilliant, but it never really went too deep. It was just about this guy getting out of the game and then getting brought back in by an attack on his dog and on his car. And then you go into the second movie, it expands this wacky sort of assassin criminal world out a little bit more. You've got the coins, you've got the thing at the end that he actually gets gave against him. He has to run away. I can't recall what it was. And then the third movie, it kind of expands upon that. It does a blend of the first two. So I've enjoyed the way that they have been enriching the world, bringing more and more of this craziness in, these rules, these guidelines for these assassins, the mythology, if you like. I've really enjoyed it, and it's music to my ears to hear that they're further expanding out this world, the mythology, how it all ticks, the code of the assassin, and you're bringing in absolute dynamite, bona fide, brilliant actors in Donnie Yen and this Hiroyuki guy. So all in all, man, really excited for this movie, cannot wait. Thoroughly enjoyed the first 3. Went to see, I think, the second and the third in the theatres. Is he in Bullet Train as well, man? That's another one I'm looking forward to. Oh my god, David Leitch, Brad Pitt, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Hiroyuki's in it. Cannot wait, man. The concept of it just sounds incredible. As I said the other day, it's like Snowpiercer meets Train to Busan meets something else. Just close, claustrophobic, balls to the wall action. It's going to be slick as hell. Anyone that's seen Atomic Blonde, man, I think it's Charlize Theron and James McAvoy was in that. Theron, when she takes down about a dozen men on this staircase, it's just the one shot. It just sums up David Leitch's style of filmmaking, and just the way that he gets action, he gets choreography, cinematography, he just knows how to combine it all, and it's just artistry, man, to watch. That's what Bullet Train's going to be, and I'm absolutely certain it'll be the same for John Wick 4. They've just hit absolute gold. They've struck gold with these movies, man, and they just want to keep continuing it. And the fact Keanu's in it, that's enough for me. The fact he's actually consulting on the script, he's got that power. Just music to my ears, man. But look, I'm moving on to the final topic here. And look, I seen this, it intrigued me. I thought of that movie that I loved when I was a little kid. That movie being the plane crash in the Andes, and it was snowy. And they resorted to cannibalism. They actually ate the corpses. I can't recall what that movie was, but it was an incredible movie. And then, of course, we've had other mountain climbing movies in the last couple of years. Stephen actually reviewed one. It may have been K-12 or something like that. There was an Everest movie a couple of years ago as well. So there's something about the thriller sort of mountain climbing things that I really, really enjoy. You add to that this cast, man. Doug Liman's directing it, which is always good. And then you add in Ewan McGregor, fellow Scotsman, brilliant guy, love him. And you add in fellow Scotsman as well, Sam Heughan, who's playing, I think, a New Zealander. And then Mark Strong, everyone's favourite bald actor outside of Jason Statham. And perhaps your other man. Guy's playing a dementia person in a movie. Amazing actor as well, Italian. Can't recall what his name is, but brilliant. He's everyone's third favourite bald actor, Mark Strong. Well, you add that in, man, it's a great cast. I'm really, really excited for this movie, man. Haven't read about it. I'm trying to get the actual mouse cursor to come up. Did you see me clicking that? No, it doesn't actually capture it, thank God. And yeah, man, the director, I'll read the actual script because it just intrigued the hell out of me. I'll have to read it from here because the light's in the way now. Up in the Airs, Sheldon Turner wrote the script for the new film, which will chronicle how explorer and mountaineer alive. Oh, brilliant, I loved it. I don't know how it's rating now, because movies I liked when I was a kid, I look back now, they've got terrible ratings, man. One Fine Day and stuff like that. Babe's Day Out or some shit like that. One I can't recall what it was. They don't age well. I look back now, they've got like 5 out of 10 on IMDb. But I thought Alive was brilliant. I thought it was a great, great movie, man. And another example of sort of mountainy, snowy setting and thriller and drama playing out. Hopefully it's the same here, different. Hopefully there's no death in this though, and no cannibalism. That'd be terrible. But yeah, they say what was it? Where was that? Mountaineer George Mallory, I should say, and is picked by the Royal Geographic Society's Arthur Hinks to restore British pride to scaling the impossible. But as Mallory and his eccentric Australian rival, it's his Australian, George Finch, will discover, it's a real test of self. Climbing without oxygen to heights not even planes can reach, Mallory's successive attempts to make the summit sees a challenge become an all-consuming obsession. Already love the sound of this movie. It leads Mallory to abandon his beloved wife and his 3 children for months on end, give up his job and push his body to the limits of human endurance. Everest becomes a very real monster for Mallory. His 45-degree climb to the peak is an inhumane mix of vertical and nerve-shredding tension, requiring all of his fearlessness and audacity. It takes everything from him, for reasons he can barely articulate, because it's grander than him. It's the last empty part of the map, and as he simply puts it, because it's there. This sounds incredible, man. Just the writing there, I love the writing. And just breaking down this script, it sounds like such a brilliant concept. You've got great, great talent on the screen. It's going to be Heughan versus McGregor, it looks like. And somehow Mark Strong's going to be in there. Look, I love Ewan McGregor, man. I've been watching this guy my entire life. 30 years now. 32 years. Not 32 years, obviously I've not been watching him since I was 2. I've been watching him for the better part of 25 years. And he's just been a brilliant, brilliant export from Scotland. A real, how shall I put it? Credit to himself and to his country. Just a really articulate guy. Obviously he had the whole cheating thing, leaving his wife. That's not great. That's not a great credit to himself. But look, man, I know what it says, to death do his part, but sometimes you fall out of love with people and you have to move on. And look, that's another example of people getting after him. You shouldn't have left your wife. Well, the guy fucking has to live his life, man. If he's not happy, he needs to move on. That's it, plain and simple. But look, that aside, let's get away from that. He's a great actor, man. I've been loving this guy for 20 odd years. Love everything he's in, really. Even guess Lumiere in the Beauty and the Beast thing. You can't sing, but Be My Guest was pretty damn good from him. So him playing this Mallory figure, trying to get up this mountain, it becoming an obsession, and forgetting about all other aspects of his life. That is perfect for Ewan McGregor to get his teeth into. And look, he may even get to lose some weight again, because I know he did it to play Jesus, I think, or something like that. So this is perfect for this guy. You put Sam Heughan, a potential new Bond in there, as the rival Aussie. I don't know how good his Aussie accent is, but it's just fucking a great concept, a brilliant cast. I liked the look of it when I read the article, and that's why I included it in the actual show. I'm excited for it, man. Hopefully it comes out very soon. But look, man, that's good, and it's directed by Baltasar Kormakur. That sounds like a Turkish name, so I like Turkey as well. I'm going to go there to get a hair transplant because I need it, Lord knows. But that's going to round the show, man. What is your thoughts on the headline, the other topics I touched upon? What do you make about the Beatles documentary Get Back from the great Peter Jackson going straight to Disney Plus? It's not going to go out in the theatres. It's not going to be a 2-3 hour extravaganza. It will be split into 3 separate episodes of 2 hours. Now a 6 hour project, 6 hour documentary. What is your thoughts on that? Do you have some disappointment over the fact it's not going to the theatres? Are you enjoying the elongated extended version, if you like? What do you make about the other topics I touched upon? Rita Moreno backing up Lin-Manuel Miranda and this whole colorism controversy surrounding his movie In the Heights, I think it is. What do you make about James Mangold absolutely destroying trolls on Twitter for attacking a movie that's only fucking 2 weeks into production? Ewan McGregor, John Wick 4, anything in between. You can comment below if you've got anything to share and you feel compelled to share it down below in the comment section. That is the place for it. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Hit the follow button over on Twitch if you want to see me and Stephen back again. And you will see us tomorrow reviewing Vada Chennai from the great Danush. I'm going to start watching it within the next couple of hours. I'm going to do my leg weights. Then I'm going to watch this movie that everybody's saying is extremely complicated and hard to follow and requires 2 to 3 watches. Come here tomorrow to see if I've grasped it in one watch, and you will see me reviewing it. But until then, guys, I'm done. Bye-bye. I'll grasp it in one viewing. Believe me. I'm quite smart. 124 IQ. I'll grasp it in one viewing. Believe me.